something about the Democratic Party, and then I'm going to say a few words about the cause of my life these days, which is the issue of poverty. First, our party. You know, I'm going to say this in the simplest way I know how to say it. I'm not interested in being in a Democratic Party that's a party of incrementalism. I'm not interested in George Bush having a tax cut. We got a little better tax cut. George Bush has got a little partial health care plan. We got a little different partial health care plan. And let me say this very simply. I don't believe in the same America George Bush believes in. Has to show some backbone and strength. Yeah. We need to quit listening to the consultants, quit listening to the pollsters. Listen, if you're looking at yesterday's poll to figure out what you're supposed to say, you're not leading, you're following. Right. It's time for the Democratic Party to lead again. I know why I'm a Democrat. I'm a Democrat because this party gives voice to people who have no voice. And it is time for us to do that once again, without worrying about what the political consequences are. And one place that we can start is with 37 million of our own people who wake up every single day worried about feeding their children, worried about clothing their children, worried about having a decent place to live. You know, in the richest country on the planet, this is just wrong. And all of us, collectively, we have a responsibility to do something about it. Now, I'll tell you something else. For the last year to year and a half, I ended up with a little time on my hands. Not by choice. But I've been traveling around the country, going to community action centers. In fact, I did a meeting earlier here today in New Hampshire. Community action centers to poverty centers. This idea, the stereotype that exists in America that people who live in poverty are lazy and irresponsible, it's a lie. I can tell you it's a lie. You go to any poverty center or community action center in America, mostly what you see are women. And mostly what you see are single mothers. Not only do they work, they're working 2 or 3 jobs. They're working for minimum wage or close to minimum wage. They've got no health care benefit. Why? Why do they do it? Many of them are working 14 hours a day, literally. They do it because they want their kids to have an easier and better life than they've had.
Another issue. When in the world are the Democrats, our leaders in this country, because you know the Republicans are never going to do it, when are we going to quit talking about incremental changes to our health care system and recognize that health care cannot, in the richest nation on the planet, be a privilege for the privileged, but it ought to be a right for every single American. Actually, what I'm about to say bothers me even more. Billions of dollars in tax cuts and subsidies. I'm talking about your money going to the richest oil companies in the country, the biggest oil companies in the country. You know, I don't know about you, but I've been worried about whether Exxon's making enough money, right? I mean, it's an amazing. Now, in the same budget, Bush cuts funding for nutrition programs for the disabled, for nutrition programs for poor children, for nutrition programs for seniors. Billions of dollars out of Medicaid, health care for poor kids. Listen, this is not complicated. This is black and white. Billions of dollars of taxpayer money to Exxon while we're taking away health care from poor children. It is immoral. We should be screaming from the rooftops that it's immoral. The country needs to... And these Republicans, even now, continue to try to claim the moral high ground. Here's the truth. The truth is there's a huge void in moral leadership in this country. We got plenty of politicians. We don't need any more politicians. What America needs are leaders. Leaders of conviction and strength and passion and This void in moral leadership, we need to fill that void. Listen, this applies to all of us. Every single one of us. We cannot wait for someone else to do this. We can't. There is too much at stake. And I'll just end tonight with this wonderful line from an extraordinary woman. She was a labor organizer, a social activist. She passed away a few years ago. But she would always end her speeches rallying people around important social causes. She would,
Your mic?
I'll say it loud enough. She would end her speeches by saying, you know, the leaders we've been waiting for are us. She's exactly right. We can't wait for somebody else to do it. We